My friends, today I wish to talk to you about something of a Linux gaming revolution that appears to have started mainly thanks to Valve. So by now you've all heard of the Steam Deck, right? Valve's handheld that uses SteamOS Linux. It can play both native Linux games and Windows games run through the Proton compatibility layer. It's an absolutely amazing device and currently the hot new thing everyone wants to get their hands on. Thanks to the popularity of it and Valve finally proving to people that Linux is a gaming platform by actually putting it in their hands, others are now following along before they get their lunch eaten. We have one X-Player who appear to be gearing up to run Linux or SteamOS itself directly on their devices, which we learned in an interview with WePC back in March. In the interview, the VP of One X-Player, Jason Zeng, mentioned how they were working on shipping the One X-Player line of devices with a build of Linux or SteamOS in the future. And you can't get any more clear than that, can you? Just recently, we also had GPD also state that they were cooperating with Valve to get SteamOS ready for their devices. And they also mentioned about having their devices actually for sale on Steam. For GPD, that was an absolutely massive backtrack too, since their previous other public comments in the past had been, well, pretty ridiculous. Although Valve simply said to me in an email that they were excited to make SteamOS available for all devices, including for other companies, but they're not announcing anything yet. The thing is, the story doesn't stop there though, as we've now seen Ioneo announce their own Ioneo OS, which is, you guessed it, Linux. Ioneo talked up running native Linux games, Windows games through Proton, emulation, finding games you have from other stores, and so much more. And they seem genuinely excited about actually using Linux too. And the Ioneo Air Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign mentions very clearly that their Ioneo OS will be available for download at some point in the future so that people can just put it on their devices. This is absolutely insane. A year ago, I never would have imagined anything like this happening. But the handheld gaming space is causing this little revolution here for Linux gaming, and I'm all for it, obviously. Windows has had this stranglehold on the PC space for just far too long. And while Microsoft might not be the evil empire it once was back in the day, they still make a lot of dubious decisions, and Linux is free and open source. So, viva la revolution, as they say somewhere. I'm extremely hopeful for this because if more and more people are coming around to using Linux as a gaming platform on all these various handhelds, then hopefully that can translate to the main PC space as well. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments.